is not investable for me. So as much as I look at the other platforms, like Polkadot, for example, I don't know how many
Yeah,
people have staked on Polkadot. I have tried to stake on Polkadot and it's terrible. And I sold like my last bag of that. So as much as you can have these interesting decentralized VPN, decentralized whatever on top of these other platforms, the problem for me has been that the foundation isn't strong enough for me. So, like even something as major as Ethereum, if ETH 2.0 or ETH 2.0 no, is still months, years, we don't know how far away it is. And people are locking up their Ethereum in the hope that it's going to get staking rules when ETH 2.0 comes out. But like that is the most advanced and most highly capitalized market cap for smart contracts at the moment. Ethereum is number two on market cap. So if that is the level that we're competing with, and then you're looking at stuff below that, well, why am I going to like waste time looking at all the other things when they've been around for like three, four, like EOS has smart contracts. They had 4 billion of funding. They were going to blow everyone out of the water at the time, and there were all these airdrops. I remember I bought EOS to get airdrops, and they're all worth zero now. So yes, it's interesting, it's fun, but for me, I think it's more important to make one good decision every 5 or 10 years than loads of decisions every day. So like focus
Mm.
on good decisions, make them slowly, and focus on what you know. Like you don't have to speculate on 10 different things. Yes, you need to be diversified, but diversifying into like Bitcoin, that's okay because that's reduces your risk quite a lot. Diversifying into coins that are very speculative is not real diversification. You're basically exchanging high value blue chip stuff for like penny stocks. And I would avoid that basically.
I managed to
Yeah.
get saying it's high
Not
risk, but I should
I
say,
think.
Atom
Go ahead.
itself, I don't think is too high risk because if the future of blockchain is going to be interoperability, which Cardano, and Charles has said this as well, and that's why it's built into Cardano from day one. Then you're going to get these interoperability platforms. I think are going. When it comes to Polkadot, what you said about Polkadot is right. I don't really like the technological foundation of Polkadot because, as you said, it's very flimsy. Where they got these auctions for slots and all this stuff, and essentially, if one level goes down, everything above it goes down. So it's very
Mm.
flimsy foundation. The way Cosmos works is different, where you'll have kind of like a group of interconnected kind of nodes that can talk to the others. And so if that one group kind of gets hacked, for example, it only affects that one circle. It doesn't affect the entire network. So it's kind of they're interconnected in a way. It doesn't make them dependent on each other for security, if that makes sense. So that it works very different to the Polkadot model, which is terrible, I think. Um, but that said, the value of Polkadot has been going up recently. I do hold about a grand of it. It's been going up, and
Yeah, it's definitely good, right? Like all
I
of
mean,
these have promise, right? When the crypto tide rises, everything grows up, right? So I don't think like price action is ever something that I use to like evaluate something, to be honest, right? Like Bitcoin has way too much gravity, and as that moves around, that's the true asset, right? That's the biggest asset by far. So, I think for anyone who's trying to invest in this space, you have to approach it as a space. Bitcoin is the reserve currency. That is what you start with, right? Ethereum is a transactional currency that is horrendous to use, and you'll know after a few failed swaps when you lose hundreds of dollars that the gas system's broken, and you'll say, "Hey, I don't want to use this anymore." And then you're going to look for other stuff. And Cosmos is great, Phantom's great, I think Avalanche is great, Cardano I think is obviously the best. But there are gems out there, and I do think there's a lot of novel technology that we can't be overlooking, but the community is usually what sustains cryptos in bear periods. So it doesn't matter how good something is if it doesn't have a community that can prop it up, right?
absolutely.
So that's why, I don't know, 90% of my, well, no, that's false. Like 75% of my portfolio is ADA, 20% is Bitcoin, and like the rest is these others that are smaller. Um, but it's really
All of
about,
which you'll be able to access in your Daedalus wallet probably in the next year, year and a half.
or hopefully for 3 decades, 4 decades from now. Hopefully these nodes are running for a long time. At least that's why I'm picking Cardano, is because I think it has the longest chance of, or the best chance of longevity. But I don't know. I just wanted to say +1 to the Phantom and to the, but -1 to Tron. No, that's just a scam. That's maybe that's the wrong word. It's like
that's a scam.
Multimedia sharing 50% owned by the Chinese government. Like, it's like the most bullshit token I've ever seen. Like, I held it for like a day, and after I read about it, I was like, wait, what is this? Why do I own this? So I think my litmus test, honestly, this is the last thing I'll say here, is that, like, if you're gonna use it, buy it. If you're gonna keep using it, keep buying it, right? Like Cardano, I keep using. I bought some NFTs today. I like the rewards. Bitcoin I use, for other reasons. I actually killed my Ethereum wallet recently, even though I used to have that on hand for transactions. But like, if there's a coin that you're going to use, like that's a reason to invest in it, right? And I just don't think if you're going to be using Tron in some way, shape, or form yourself, then it's not worth holding.
Oh yeah, so I just want to get rid of the Tron. I'm just thinking about, should I hope that it goes up in the future so I can at least buy more ADA with that, or
well, it depends. If you're getting
Yeah.
rid of it now just to use the money, then that's probably a bad idea. If you want money, then you should just wait for it to go up because the tide rises, and then sell it at your closest convenience. If you're going to sell it and then invest it in something else, then it can go up in that amount of time. So like, I don't know, either let it sit for 3 months or convert it to ADA. Is my unprofessional, not financial advice opinion.
Yeah, it's important to note. We have a few people with speaking ability who I don't think have ever spoken before. Colin H, it looks like. Soft Kitty Taco. Welcome, guys. I don't know if you have any input on what we're discussing now, but feel free to introduce yourselves.
Hello. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir. Soft Kitty Taco. How's it going?
It's going well. My name is Cameron. I'm one of the founders of Pareto Coin. I actually do have some input on what's being talked about here with the cryptocurrencies. I'm very active on Discord, and I've dipped my toes into a few different cryptocurrencies other than Cardano and Bitcoin and Ethereum. And particularly with Atom, I don't mind all the things technically about it, especially being a developer for over 7 years. I think there's a lot of promise there. I guess I just didn't like the community. When I went into the Discord talking and asking questions, I got a lot of gruff. I got a lot of like, well, why do you even want to be on the network in the first place? Why do you want to be a validator? A lot of assumptions, when really I was just asking, why are there only 125 validators validating the network? And 6 of those could collude together to completely screw your whole network. So I think I was just really turned off by the maximalist attitude and really just like people just not liking those questions,
You can tell a lot about how the project is run and what its intentions are by how it fields those types of questions, though. You know what I mean? That's a good point.
Yeah, I just think that, there are other networks like Avalanche, Cardano, that are really trying a lot harder to decentralize that aspect of staking and are doing a lot better job. I've staked through Atom, I've staked Polkadot, I've staked a lot of currencies at this point, and really the number one is definitely ADA. That one's the easiest. I don't like Yoroi. I'll admit that. Like, Yoroi needs a lot of work, but for the most part, this network, I loved it a lot, and the community is awesome. I've enjoyed the community here a lot, and they answer all my questions, and they're not maximalist attitude and, like trying to shut me down.
You're here. Couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, where did Colin H, he has requested speaking ability once more. Colin, how's it going, man? Welcome. Happy Epochs End. Thanks for joining. Are you able to speak, Colin?
Hey, sorry. How's my audio?
It's coming through. It's not crispy necessarily, but we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Well, yeah, just good to be here. I've already talked to several of you in different places. I'm the Plutus PM for IOG, so if anyone's building a DApp, eventually we'll be talking more. And I know a lot of stateful operators, for instance. if you aren't building a DApp, this quarter, you've got a lot of insight. You are power users. So I've just been, you know, spying on all of you a little in recent months, and I know we'll be talking more through the end of the year.
Oh, very cool.
That is very awesome, Colin. Thank you. Thank you for listening and thank you for spying on us because sometimes we wonder how much gets noticed. So it's good to know that there are, you guys are looking out for users who are building. And I have some ideas, but I think I'm going to wait for the second wave, not the first wave. I expect the first wave to be like Normandy Beach. So I'm going to wait a bit.
Yeah, that's right. And I think as not just SPOs, but certainly some of you will be the first people to like synthesize all this information. Like people just talked about interoperability, about using particular wallets, and all of these things I think will come to a head after Alonzo, right? Like the first thing I wanted to say is like I think at the end of the year there'll be 20 wallets, light wallets, like from the community or whatever. There are already several, and everyone has their own preference, and I think that's really healthy. So that'll probably be true for every type of service or tool we currently use.
And even now,
Yeah, I'm gonna reach
I
out.
like the sound of
Oh,
that.
go ahead, Magic.
Just saying, even now we're seeing that specialization start to exist. We saw that Yoroi wasn't servicing the needs of the CNFT community, and lo and behold, Nami comes around, and it's now servicing those needs. There's bound to be several different wallets that service the needs of a niche, and thus are they're as advantageous as any other business concept at that point.
Speaking of dApps, if anybody wants to collaborate on a marketplace, which the details I don't necessarily feel comfortable sharing in this public forum until further regulatory evolution happens in the United States, feel free to reach out. Because I do have some ideas, and Colin, maybe we'll be chatting, assuming there's some logical reforms with regards to certain plant matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so no one's confused, I work for Obsidian Systems, which is a vendor, but my heart has belonged to Cardano all year. Like since the start of 2021, I've been working full time. Well, more than full time for IOG and specifically managing Plutus. So if you check me out anywhere, like on Discord or anywhere else, you'll see I am still with Obsidian, just like how Duncan Coots is Cardano, but is also well typed.
Fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I've got my Cardano comics, The Typist, with Duncan Coots as the cover, so I couldn't agree more. And I'm over here buying up all these people that are Cardano and are also just like everybody else. They're bringing new technologies to the forefront, And we've said it many times before. Kind of the beauty of all of this is that we all benefit from everything. So much of this is open source that if somebody looks at one other person's code and decides that that's exactly what they were talking about, but they just had this one thing, now that thing exists and it's been built upon. It's the idea of standing on the shoulders of giants.
Guru, I have a little overview of a recent blog entry from IOHK called "A Closer Look at C Fund." I don't know if anyone's interested in that. It was something I didn't have a lot of insight into. I mean, it's not the most complex topic, but I'm curious if you guys would like to hear about that.
I would love to hear about that. I think this was something that was announced a while back where there were a few different funds. So initially there was obviously Catalyst that's done based on blockchain voting. Then the DC fund, as far as I understand, is a proper venture fund existing in the fiat world. So yeah, do tell us more. Thank you, 420.
Okay. Yeah, no. So, okay. C Fund, this is going off of notes from the IOG blog post. C Fund is a crypto native hedge fund managed by Wave Financial in partnership with IOG for innovative tech companies developing applications, businesses, and products being deployed on Cardano and in other R&D projects IOG is also working on. IOG is focused on accomplishing two objectives. One, enable developers to build scalable, interoperable, sustainable blockchain-based solutions. And two, foster financial inclusion to underserved populations. This will establish a new financial infrastructure for emerging economies by cultivating a community of decentralized applications and protocols on Cardano. C Fund is funded by third-party high net worth individuals, family offices, and institutional investors, including IOG. C Fund takes a disciplined approach that considers many factors, including, is there a clear need in the market for the offering a company provides, and determines if competitors can out-execute. Also, can the team execute and scale their project, as well as a third factor, possible exit scenarios. They also then detail the 3 current projects that they are contributing to, which include COTI, the decentralized and scalable payments network for the global e-commerce market, with value adds of developing a bridge for DeFi applications wishing to deploy on Cardano, developing ADA Pay, a gateway solution allowing merchants to accept ADA with near instant settlement, and a Cardano stablecoin. The second of 3 was BlockSwap, an automated liquidity protocol for proof of stake, allowing users to restake their staked assets. Do not ask me what that means. I got to look more into that. And then the third was OccamFi, a suite of DeFi solutions tailored for Cardano, including decentralized funding platform. C Fund aims to be a leading early stage venture firm, primarily in the Cardano ecosystem. So I had a misunderstanding of what C Fund was before this. I mean, it does seem to me like it is a profit-seeking private crypto native hedge fund with money being in capital infusion, and it seems like just a straight across the board partnership with IOG, which will not necessarily only contribute to projects on Cardano, but also other IOG ventures, which I thought was really interesting, and I just didn't have a full understanding of that before. But there's a lot of things going on, and to the extent that C Fund is able to put their money where their mouth is when it comes to fostering financial inclusion to underserved populations, you know, I mean, I have no doubt that they are aligned with the ethos of IOG, which of course is all about pushing power to the edges. So I hope they're able to affect that type of real change with the hedge fund model, you know, because hedge funds do get a bad rap as essentially just being vehicles for wealthy people to use their capital to amass more of it. But you know, this could be a beautiful example of how Cardano allows us to have our pursuit of happiness, our own pursuit of wealth, and while also contributing to causes and projects and developers who are making life or connecting the unconnected and allowing people to have a voice who didn't before. So I hope that's a reality that maybe the C Fund can help contribute to.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's good to see other vehicles in place to make investments, because before we only had Emergo, which was the commercial arm of Cardano to pursue ventures and invest in ventures. So seeing IOHK make investments in that field as well is good. For me, that's like, okay, have multiple attempts, because the chances of you creating something new on this new platform on attempt 1 and for it to be a success is very minimal. However, if we have multiple avenues, multiple investment vehicles, encouraging different incubations of new ideas, hopefully 1 or 2 of those will be groundbreaking.
And anyone who is currently in the process of developing an idea, you can reach out to the people at Wave Finance and at the C Fund directly and from what I understand, you can communicate with them on what they want to see from projects and the projects they're considering investing in. So that could be an interesting conversation to have if you're looking to get some funding for an idea you're working on. Guru, do you have anything else to add today? Anything that's at the
No,
front of mind?
I'm just surprised you've managed to keep going this long. Normally, hour in and you're ready to go for 20. You're a busy man.
Yeah, well, I am getting a little bit of that notorious side eye from Mrs. 420,
Oh,
but
bless.
she's very patient and kind to me.
Pass her our
And
regards.
and she's great about indulging my harebrained passions.
Amazing.
But I keep telling her, don't worry, I'll be rich soon, and it'll all make sense.
Well, it's not. I mean, there's probably we could do a whole
That
episode.
buys me a little time.
We probably do a whole episode on being a spouse of a crypto person. My poor wife has put up with me for 3 years of this crypto stuff. She's like, oh my God, what's going on? So yeah, no.
There are support groups that they can join. Yeah.
Guru, is your significant other, is she coming around, or is it still just that funny Cardano thing that you're working on?
No, she's just very positive. She holds more Bitcoin and Ethereum than me. And she's been involved in crypto herself, but because of obviously pregnancy and the baby, she's not been so involved recently. So yeah, no, she's very supportive and she gets it enough for me to do what I want to do with it.
Well, that's good to hear. We have an NFT to give away today, Guru. I guess if we want to just put a bow on this.
I think it has to go to Ray from Pool Grow because he's one of those OGs that I've followed for a long time and he's turned up every time and he's done his bit. And that is, community is not something that just exists out there. It's made by every individual. And when people turn up and they even, listening, being here is participating. So thank you. And you make the community, and that's important to remember. And so thank you to Ray because he helped me a lot at the beginning.
And for everybody out there, we are a part of a system already. It's in its infancy, but we are involved in a system that is non-coercive, right? So the idea that Cardano can win without ever forcing a single person, whether it's at gunpoint or with some type of financial extortion, to participate, right? That's something beautiful, and yeah, we all contribute in our own way. Ray has been a big inspiration, I'm sure, to a lot of stake pool operators. Guru, you have as well, and we all have our own role to play, and it can be both great and small. Sometimes simultaneously. So we just have to lean into it, embrace it, and
all participation,
put our best ideas forward.
All participation is significant. So thank you. And we must remember that. Sometimes we put pressure on ourselves to do everything. And no, just do one or two things and that's enough. So that's better than zero. Like doing a bit, participating, even listening every now and then. You're all participating. So thank you. And I think those contributions matter.
Next Epochs End will be on Friday the 13th, a very lucky day. So lucky that they made a whole horror movie franchise about it. But yeah, so Friday the 13th, I will be in Yosemite National Park, just to continue this pattern of doxing myself. But I will make it to the Epochs End, and I look forward to talking to everybody this Friday.
Awesome. Thank you for 20. Thank you, everyone. I think we'll call it a day. Thank you for turning up, and see you in 5 days.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
Later, everybody.